Welcome, friends and family, to How to Build Safe Community. My name is Cypress Forrest Wolf, and I'll be your guide as we explore this topic. Before we begin, I want to make it clear that I have no credentials to show. I'm simply a homegrown community organizer who's taken the notes of myself, the people around me, and my understanding of human psychology and applied it to this subject. And for clarity, I want to define safety as the ability to feel at peace and grow in healthy and beneficial ways. With that in mind, we may begin. The perfect place to start is with an understanding and framework of community. As old as it is essential, the social environment that surrounds us is intricate, dynamic, and complex. The connection between species and others is often dependent on factors outside of our immediate control. Look no farther than the food chain. It could be hard to suggest that the green vegetation is related to the predator wolf until you take a few steps back, when you realize that the vegetation and the wolf live in a harmonious balance, particularly when you consider the deer. See, the management of the vegetation is left to the deer, but the management of the deer is left to the wolves. They ensure that the vegetation is not over-consumed by the deer by managing the population of the deer. From seed to plant to belly, everything benefits from this harmonious relationship. Furthermore, codependence is a necessary part of community. I have no clue how to make shoes, what to do in the event of a bullet wound, or how to handle a lot of social situations. But this only becomes an issue if we disregard community for the worship of the individual. Now, the contradiction you may have seen arise is the inherent violence that exists within these relationships, which is exactly what I want to address. For some people, being called in from disruptive behavior can feel like violence, but it ultimately only leads to a couple of bruised egos. What we must remember is that these destructions of character are necessary in order to become safe for our people. While the reason a space may feel unsafe are vast, ultimately, if we don't accept the necessary violence that comes from the destruction of our colonized self, we've already lost. Past the pain lies the beauty of revolution, the scene of the whole connected. Just like the wolf cares for the deer by killing the sick and the weak, we care for ourselves and our comrades by killing the false ideas that still lie dormant within us. So, how do we build safe community? Well, first of all, building safe community involves building community as a whole. And for that, there's no way around it. There's no simple trick. You just have to do it. And sure, that could be vague and it doesn't really give you a lot of answers. But truthfully, again, I can't organize your community. Only you can. What I can do is give you some pillars, some support that has helped me understand how I should proceed. These three are limited, and I encourage you to find things that I haven't talked about. Spread it in the comments. Anything that you have, any of your ideas, we would love to hear them. What I will be talking about for today is going to be the choosing of the place, the inviting to the space, and then the upkeep of entropy. The revolution will not be televised. This is only true because the revolution is within your head. An essential part of revolution is understanding that your thinking has already been hijacked before you even had time to know it was happening. Despite this, with proper uncolonization work, we can create a space within ourselves which is truly free, which is truly safe. And I say all of this because it will relate to everything we talk about today. And since we're talking about how to create a safe community, we're of course going to be talking about potential issues within community that can make people not feel safe. Let's begin with the location. There are many different places to meet with like-minded individuals, and options can be amazing or devastating depending on the reason for the meet. Not everyone feels comfortable in a church or religious building. A library might be free, but you're sacrificing a little bit of privacy, and not everyone has the capacity to meet at a paid-for room, particularly if you're meeting frequently. Of course, these aren't our only options, but understanding what will provide an environment that will support the purpose of the group will allow you to have fertile soil to plant seeds and grow. How you find these spaces is different, but remember, you can always start small. Someone's house, a park, or even a welcoming third space can all be amazing places to start. And of course, we want everyone to feel safe and welcome at whatever event they decide to go to. So how do we make that happen before we even get there? This is where we explore the guest list. If you're anything like me, you love to have the whole community come together and get to hang out. Getting to exist in a space where you can release some of the tension of late-stage capitalism is great, but not everyone's like me, and not everyone can hold the weight of these spaces. Maybe someone is overstimulated, or shy, or aggressively antisocial. See white man syndrome. Whatever the reason is, we need to keep all of this in mind when sending invitations. Specific events require specific people and sometimes need to exclude specific people. Getting a good feeling for this can be difficult, but simply remember that having an event where not everyone in the org is welcome is not only expected, but sometimes necessary for cohesion. Moral of the story, know the reason for the event and know who to invite to achieve that goal. I find this third pillar to be the most important. I feel like it's the truest reason why any type of group cohesion breaks apart. Because finding the right location, finding the right people can be easy enough. But what is often the most difficult is the maintenance of this group, is the upkeep and the checks and balances that need to happen within these groups. Primarily addressing symptoms of white supremacy. And this can be really innocuous, but it can also show up as things like a resentment for rest and an inability to allow yourself to step back. It could look like everyone thinking that they're too good to do the dishes for the group. It can also be micro or macro aggressions that are not checked. All of these are symptoms of a white supremacist society that, if not addressed, will seep into the roots of the organization and poison all of its fruit. And if you continuously approach your group with consciousness and intention, it'll be much easier to spot these old spirits and put them to rest. As we discussed earlier, the colonizer lives in all of us, and it is all of our job to uproot it from our own consciousness. And if you have the capacity, maybe help a friend, maybe help a neighbor, maybe help a stranger, maybe just help yourself again. There you have it, friends and family. 3 tools of the trade that'll help you conceptualize and build your first or your 50th meeting. Along with everything I've said, please make sure to apply your own learned desires of your community. Make sure everything aligns with them. No 2 places are going to be the same, so please feel free to take what works and leave the rest. Until we meet again, I wish you all the best. Much love, Cypress Forest Wolf.